Very good. Thanks for being here. Let's connect to our Ujjayi breath. So there's a difference between how we just were breathing. We're making this intentional shift. Aligning the back of the skull over the back of the pelvis. We're feeling the arms, the weight of the arms as it hangs down. The shoulder joint softens, releases. And as you feel the shoulder socket relaxing and releasing, explore feeling your breath reach those released areas in the shoulder joints. We'll be working Uddiyana today. So you can take this in a cross-legged seat or Baddha Konasana, your pleasure. And part of our working this technique is in the hold so that we can explore relaxing, filling, and feeling this upper width of body, shoulder to shoulder. So set the hands to the ground. You can go a little bit wider than the shoulders or shoulder width. And applying as a direct and downward trajectory as possible, feel for the upper ribs lifting up. Inhale, furthering that uplift. But keep pushing the shoulders down, even though the ribs are lifting up as if right through the shoulders, right through the shoulder blades. And now hold the breath as you soften around the chest, the shoulder blade, the larynx, top of the heart. Bring the hands forward, swift, thorough exhalation, everything out. Remain empty, draw the belly in. Draw it in, back toward the spine. Draw it up, away from the ground, away from the floor of pelvis. And release. And one of the things with the Uddiyana, as we're working it another couple of rounds, so ordinarily when we exhale, the ribs move together and down and closer to one another. And we have the opportunity to intentionally flare them out. So we'll just play with that. Set the fingertips down. And push directly down. You feel the ribs lift up. Inhale, furthering that uplift. So the top dome of the ribs lifts up as if right through and between the shoulder blades. Hold that. And the precise amount of softening may allow you to push the shoulders down, away from the head, down the ribs. Bring the hands forward. Exhale everything out. As we exhale, the ribs, you'll feel how they kind of move together. We draw the belly in and back and up. Now you can hold it just like so, or you can start to flare and expand the ribs without inhaling. Relax, release. Let's do one more round on our own. And you can play with if you want to flare the ribs or if you don't want to flare the ribs. There's a little inspiration play in there. There's some muscle activation. All right, one more round on our own. Please. And then, because we'll be putting our fingertips to the ground, some adjustment might befit you. Some people sit and plant their fingertips on the ground. Some people have to get up a little bit, meaning you have to raise their hips in order to get a good angle. So I just have one hand, my left hand, fingertips, just the pads on the ground, and my palm is off the ground. There's a little space between my palm and the ground. Okay. So there's a light amount of traction here. Now, with my right hand, I'm putting it on my rib cage. And I'm just very gently sending the rib cage toward the back of the room as I reach my arm toward the front ground of the room. It's not a hard movement, but it allows me to reach through this left arm without the ribs moving with the arm. And so that's all I'm doing. I'm just blocking my ribs from moving toward the ground. So then, as I deepen my breath, you might be able to bias this upper rib, top of shoulder blade area. And if I let my chin go down, those upper trapezius might get an additional bias or stretch. So whether my right hand is doing any work or not, at least it's getting the point across that the ribs can move independently of the shoulder blade and the arm. There's some wiggle room between the two. Then release. I will switch sides. So again, now it's my right hand. My fingertips are on the ground. My palm is off. I want lots of margin, lots of play room. And my left hand or palm, I'm just intoning the motion of my ribs toward the back of the room. And this is, of course, as I'm reaching through my arm and my hand forward. Now, as I keep gliding the shoulder down, it will become more evident through the upper trapezius, those upper ribs. If there's any little snarls or little entanglements, we can deliver our breath to those topmost ribs, top of the shoulder blade, and then when we release, I think our side bend will reveal some more. Let's straighten our right leg out so that we can side bend through the left side. So we're going to inhale the left arm up, and then exhaling, creating some of that same wrap and that contrary motion, if you will. So I'm just going to continue to play as if the ribs and that shoulder blade and arm are moving independently of one another. In fact, I can subtly intone sending my left upper back back. And breathing into those upper left traps and shoulder blade. So we really have to explore filling the lung all the way into those upper lobes, the top dome of the ribs. And inhaling, we'll release by setting the left hand down. Push up, we'll change sides. So I'm going to straighten the left leg, to take the side bend through the right side. Inhaling the right arm up. And just playing with the arm and shoulder blade, behaving as, we can say, a unit, and the rib cage, a differentiated unit, if you will. And these units are arbitrary, but they're just here as frameworks that maybe we start to feel or sense something differently. Maybe I start to discover I don't really fill my lungs this much. Maybe I start to feel the different qualities of elasticity in the breathing structures, right? We know that there's certain actions that will start to stiffen the tissues, either inaction or other actions, like pollution of sorts. So there's lots of different textures, environmental artifacts, postural defaults that we can start to learn in these shoulder, lung, rib areas. Yeah, that's some good axis, Vijay. All right, inhale. Let's bring that right hand down. Push the chest upright. We'll give the arms a little rest for now. Let's lie on our back and prep for elbow to knee. Just to get things moving and emphasize lower in the body. So feet off ground. Hands support the underside of the skull. Inhale, the head and the shoulder blades off the ground. As I'm reaching through my arms, I can still kind of feel some of that smooth differentiation, arms from ribs. Curl the tailbone, exhaling the left leg out. Now, same time I reach left leg out, elbows reach slightly to the right. Pull low belly down. Inhale, bend the left knee. Curling tailbone, exhale, right leg reach out. And turn those elbows just slightly at the left thigh, just very slight. Now I pull the low belly down. I bring up one detail. Inhale, let's continue. Just continue going through these side to side, elbow to knee. I'd mentioned how our ribs, when we exhale, can be drawn together and down. And so as you're pulling the belly down, feel the ribs get drawn together, down, as if they're moving toward your navel. Inhale, bend the left knee, or continue. And when you exhale again, reaching a leg out, draw the belly in, but let the belly also draw the ribs down, as if the belly is pulling the ribs toward it. So let's continue, just finish your pair, and we'll do 3 more pairs, 3 more on each side. Thorough, complete exhalations, I find, can be extraordinarily clearing of the upper back and chest. And by clearing, I mean it can be a wise perturbation of whatever postural defaults kind of live through the shoulder structure. But we remember, in large part, it's kind of the really great why do yoga. We're inviting these little experiments into our body so we can help ourselves notice, bring our mindful awareness to what is it we actually do. What do we tend to default to? What are the habits that we have that are hard to notice because, well, they're our most ingrained, closely worn clothing, right? So we're inviting these little perturbations, right? Oh, that's different than how I usually feel my chest. Oh, that's different than how I usually experience my upper back, my heart, my shoulders. Okay? And we'll be doing twisting abs with the mat. So grabbing your mat, your roll, or your block, we'll go with the roll between the legs up. And then with the hands supporting under skull, inhale, head and shoulders off the ground. Squeeze the roll, keeping the feet active. Exhale it, curl the tailbone as you reach the elbows toward the right thigh. Again, it's just that little turn, but exhale everything out as if the exhale is helping move the ribs, because they are. Pull low belly down a tad further. Inhale, come back centrally, but keep the shoulders up. Squeeze the thing. Exhale as you curl the tailbone, reach elbows toward left thigh. Let that exhalation draw on, perturb, move the ribs. Pull low belly down. Inhale, come back centrally. Squeeze roll. Exhaling, curl tailbone, reach elbows right. Pull low belly down. Inhale, come back centrally. Squeeze roll. And exhaling, reach elbows slightly toward left thigh. Let the belly draw on the ribs. And if you're reaching up through those elbows, you get into that upper back. Inhale, come back centrally. Let's do 2 more on each side, just like so. Continue at your own pace. So to me, this begs the question, is this full-bodied breath truly whole-bodied? Is my low belly connected to the top of my ribs? As I breathe with my whole body, I'm not just breathing with these discrete compartments of body called low belly, called ribs, right? So I'm feeling each breath's excursion Does it touch? Does it interconnect through the whole body from the top of the ribs down to the pelvic floor? That's a huge whole-bodied breath. Good, 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 good. And when we're done, we are done. We can move that roll off to the side, and let's turn on to our elbows and our knees. For dolphin. Okay. We will have the option as we go through our dolphin to take one hand away from the ground at a time. Some of our shoulders may not be amenable to that one-armed work, so you can just let that pass by and you can leave both of your arms down for more support. But let's start off with the elbows under the shoulders and the forearms out in parallel. So push the earth. Do you feel that distinction? The ribs move up, the arms push down. Relax the neck, and on your next exhale, we'll take the knees off the ground. Dolphin. So what is your breath access like in that top third of your ribs? It's up by the collarbone and around the heart, these thoracic rings, right? Can you feel breath getting in and under those shoulder structures? So here's a decision point. If you're remaining both arms down, just continue as you're working. If you're playing with removing one hand at a time, check that your feet are about hip width apart. I'll usually go hip width or a tiny bit wider. And let's start by removing one elbow. We'll go left elbow. And possibly removing the fingertips from the ground. We'll reset that left arm down to the ground. And in exchange, we'll start to play with removing the right elbow, maybe the right fingertips from the ground. Replace that right arm to the ground. We'll set the knees down. We'll take rest. All right, slide the hands under your shoulders. On exhale, we'll press downward dog. Out in downward dog. I want you to straighten the elbows. If you can, straighten the elbows. Okay? Because if we can't straighten that elbow joint, we end up doing a lot of extra muscular work to remain in downward dog. Okay? And of course, I'm not locking, I'm not hyperextending the joint. And if you do that, you know who you are, and you know how to amend, how to not hyperextend, right? We want to be able to straighten that joint, that elbow joint, and fully and thoroughly, with our breath, with our low belly, we're going to start to draw that low belly in, exhaling, and feel the ribs get pulled, get drawn away from the armpits, away from the biceps. Now, as we start to perturb the structure, our shoulders, right? You may feel a little slinking toward the ground, but I want you to use those legs and draw the hips back. Lift, keep lifting the mass of your torso away from your arm bones. So the elbows are straight. Full-bodied exhale. I'm using my low belly. The ribs are moving. Lengthening the ribs away from the arms. Inhale the right foot forward. Extended warrior variation. We're working a chest opener, so we place the right forearm on the right thigh. As we raise the left arm skyward, a little left of vertical. Now pressing out through each arm, so we're lighter in the shoulder joints. Now exploring that full inspiration into the width of the heart and the shoulders. And here we can reach that left arm back. We can reach up and back. I lower the left arm next to the hip as we prepare for interlock. Inhale, slide that right armpit down. And smoothly exhale, left hand behind the back. Right arm under the thigh. Use those arms, Connie, that right arm, press it against thigh. And you start to lift and move the ribs forward, like toward the front of your mat, toward the right knee. There you go, there you go. And feel your breath all the way up in that upper third of the ribs. This is where the shoulder tissue and the structure is wound up the most, right in the armpit area, the chest and the armpit. Now, when we release, inhale, let the hands go down to the ground, and we'll walk the hands between the feet, adjusting the feet into a wide neutral stance for flank stretch. Your left hand grab right ankle. The right hand cap it or hold it in place. And with the neck relaxed, feet active, inhale into that left side, left armpit, left ribs. I find this is a really important position to feel the neck can let go. I'm not pulling my ribs with my head or my neck motion. I'm letting the head relax. And release. Walk the hands back toward the right foot, setting the left knee down. Lounge, lunge. So left knee goes down, left palm plants. Remember, this lounge lunge is the right arm hugging the right thigh. And as I reach out through the left leg, the ribs drape. Note how you breathe into the left side of the heart. Does it feel nourishing? Does it feel abrasive? Does it feel neglectful? Does it feel like, how does that breath-heart interaction occur to you in that left side? You're the artist here, so how do you want to breathe? How does that experience, how do we want to shape that? We have that ability to shape or change our relationship to our body at any moment. It's really a liberating thing. Inhale, let's unwind. Set the hands down. Exhaling, we'll step back into downward dog. Slide that right foot back and press back. Again, straighten the elbows, which means the wrap of my shoulder blades has to come from the muscles around the shoulder blade and the rib cage. Right? And as I move those bottom tips of shoulder blades apart, just feel what that's like, breathing into the middle of the back, breathing into the back of the heart. With these next couple exhalations, let your low belly help move, pulling the ribs down. Down is relative to you. Down is away from your arm bones. So you feel the slight elongation of the rib cage, of the trunk, away from your palms. Right, inhale, left foot forward, extended warrior variation, chest opener. Left forearm on left thigh, right arm reaches skyward. And now, having taken so much of my body weight off my shoulders, I'll breathe into those shoulders and feel for that comparative lightness or largeness. Maybe there's a sense of largeness that catches our attention, like, whoa, that feels big, or, right? You start to feel the shape of our breath in our body can have some potent psychological connection. Inhaling, lower the right hand next to the right hip. Exhaling, slide that left armpit down to the thigh for interlock, connecting hands. Now, when I bring both my arms behind my back, I'm winding up. I am incurring a little bit more torsion, wind up through the structure of my shoulder. Let's use that to our benefit. So with that additional winding up, it's like when we put our sock on extra high and tight, we really like pull that thing up, right? Now each and every breath can be felt without that slack present. Go ahead and breathe into the armpit. These are the uppermost ribs. So you're getting that breath into the armpit, into the folds under the breast tissue, into those lymph nodes and those brachial vessels and nerves, the spinal nerves, the nerves that feed heart and shoulder. These are vital nerves that we're breathing into. They serve these vital organs. Now, when we release the hands, inhale, let them go down. And then walk the hands between the feet that we may straighten our legs as we prep for flank stretch. So wide, neutral, straight-legged stance, right hand grab left ankle. Let head simply relax down so all of those neck muscles can soften. If your balance is good here, you might consider closing the eyes. I find that sometimes when my eyes are helping me stay up, I can tend to activate the neck a lot more. And if I can afford to close my eyes, especially in this position, I can often relax my neck structure a great deal more. Feet are active because they're our main support system. When I'm pressing with my feet, I'm allowed to relax the neck. Lounge, lunge. Let that ankle go. Walk hands toward that left foot. And we'll set the right knee down. The right knee down, the right hand down, and the left arm hugs the left thigh. Sometimes I can emphasize the ribs simply by reaching back to that right leg. And of course, we can get those ribs moving more dynamically, more expressively. If I use that low belly through the exhalation, you can try that out. Go gently at first. It's a big move here. You can feel how the ribs do get drawn or pulled. Inhale, let's unwind. Set the hands down, exhale the left foot, the left knee back, and we'll lower all the way down to the ground. Just drawing the shoulders away from the neck. We'll take 3 breaths in Cobra. So move the hands forward slightly, inhale into the abdomen, kind of presses into the ground, elevating the chest, elevating the elbows. Remain here as you exhale. Reach back through those inner legs, those big toes. Take 2 deep breaths more. Feel those breaths reaching the top dome of your ribs, the top third. Exhaling, lower down, downward dog. Straighten elbows. So you're really engaging those triceps. Keep those triceps engaged as you wrap the shoulders. And inhale your right foot forward, warrior 2. Reaching arms out to the side, just do a couple more items here, and turn the palms up. Exhale, turn the palms down. Chin down. Do a few more rounds just so we can move the shoulder through a broad range of movement. And on your next exhale, eagle, we'll hook the left elbow over the right. Wow, feel a broadness across the entire upper back. This is the top of the shoulder blade. Many of us will tend to feel a bottlenecking between the shoulder and the neck and the head. I'm asking us if we can feel that as fluent, as broader. Okay, inhale, let's unwind. Let's set the hands down. Exhale, downward dog. And do the exact same on the other side. Inhaling, left foot forward, kite hawk. Reaching arms out to the side, palms up. Exhale, rolling the palms down or thumbs down, chin down. We'll do a few more of these. Working with your breath in the topmost part of heart and shoulder. The exhale helps move the ribs also. And on your next exhale, eagle, we'll hook the right elbow over the left. And inhale, unwind. Okay, when you straighten that left leg, just heel toe your feet together enough to find your strap. Okay. We'll be doing a brief round of tortoise. You can use a loop around your waist. I prefer tying the strap around my waist. Okay. I'm approaching the tortoise today as a traction and a light event. I know usually when we do it, we do a couple of rounds and we go fairly, we tend to go fairly deeply. So it's a little different approach today. I'm going to tie. This is my preferred method. And then when I have those two tail ends hanging down, I set my legs widely. My right arm stays close to my right leg. And then I reach up and I grab the strap by my right butt. My left arm stays close to my left leg. And my left hand grabs the strap by my left butt. So all the right things are together, all the left things are together. The most common setup error, if we can call it that, is that people will leave their elbows on their thigh. It has to be elbow past the thigh. It really has to be armpit on thigh. So crouch really deeply. Get the elbow to go past the leg. And then hook under like you're picking your own pocket. That's it, Vijay. And with the feet active, we'll go very, very gently. We'll go for 6 or 7 or 8 breaths. The first suggested step is draw the shoulders away from the neck. And let the breath help open the pose instead of the muscle pulling on the pose. Let the breath open the pose. So tortoise is just a way to create a little torsion or to take the slack up, and breath is how I open up. And when you release the strap, permit your torso and your head to remain hanging. When you straighten the legs, we'll do one little bit of neck traction. So I'm letting the trunk and my neck hang, my hands interlace behind the head, forearms clamp around the cheekbone or the jaw line. And here I'm letting the weight of my arms very gently traction the head toward the ground. Now we can practice breathing into those neck bones, into the joints, the base of the brain. Feeling the back of the heart relax. And letting the head remain there. Let's remove the hands from the head. Set the hands on the ground. Heel toe your feet underneath you. And bend the knees. Setting your knees to the ground. And very carefully ease your head back over your trunk. We'll take the strap off. We'll take Shavasana. Okay. So please find a rest position, so that as your back lies against the ground, maybe there's a new quality of contact or openness that you feel back to ground. It's just, there's a quality of sensation that we can explore with our backside to the ground. Feel how your breath reaches or inhabits the back of your body. We'll go a step further. Can you feel the breath in the back of your body exchanged right through the ground? So you're breathing from the ground beneath you. That is the same breath that you feel in the back of your bodily space. And the breath from that back of your bodily space exchanges or is deposited right into the ground beneath you. Now, when you're ready, bend knees. Turn to a side and press to seated. It's a pleasure hanging with you. Namaste.